Oops. Oh, no. Okay, good. Yeah? Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I have to record myself. So I'll just put that down. There's no learning target. It's basically I can just multiply by the conjugate to simplify. Oh, let me know if it's too dark for some.
No, it's too light.
Okay. Let me know if anyone has a hard time. Sit down. Oh, there we go. Great. All right. Everyone has their notes. We're going to go ahead and begin. By the way, if anyone has trouble seeing, there's some open seats up here in the front. So today, before I begin, I want to remind you all again, before we start, resources on Google Classroom. Make sure you go to that if you're confused. Also, if you have a question, raise your hand. Please try not to yell out. Just raise your hand, and I'll be happy to help you to the best of my ability. All right, here we go. Multiplying by the conjugate. So the learning target, if you guys want to write that in, it's not going to show up here, is I can multiply by the conjugate to simplify. Pretty much the title of this handout, or this notes. What is this? So there's a technique in math called multiplying by the conjugate. So the conjugate of a binomial is made by creating another binomial and negating the second term. So this sounds complex, but we're going to see some examples. It's pretty straightforward. All right, let's just do some examples so that you guys know what do I mean by negating the second term. So find the conjugate x plus 6 to negate the second term, which is plus 6, means what is the opposite of plus 6? -6. That is the conjugate. So step 1, I can create a conjugate. That's step 1. So I give you an expression, a binomial, and you could give me the conjugate of that. So just make sure you answer something. Get your paper. All right. Let's go on to example 2. Now for this one. Sorry, he moved up because he had a seat closer. Jalen, is it all right if you move a little bit on the table behind you? Okay, as long as she's cool, and then we're going to move back to our side seats.
X squared minus 3.
1 second. I'll take your hand in a second. All right. So for this one, I'll take a hand. And Dejan, do you want to go?
X squared minus 3.
So Nigel, what did you want to say?
That's what I was going to say. That's the answer.
What about you?
I don't think it's squared though. I think it's just x.
Oh, it's radical x minus 3.
Yeah. So is that what you meant?
No, that's weird, but.
Oh, okay. All right. So yes, good correction, Ignacio. The conjugate is just
that's what I
simply.
said.
Yeah. Okay. That's what you said. So
Squared, yeah.
there we go. So that's I think that's what you. Yeah, that's what you meant. All right. So yes, the conjugate is just basically negate the second term. I don't care about the first term. Just negate the second one. This right here is just identifying a conjugate. The math begins in our next examples.
There's more.
And wait, there's more. All right. Let's go on. Now, how do we use the conjugate to simplify expressions such as this one?
You can multiply radical x minus 4 on the top and bottom.
How the heck? Yes. How the heck did you know that? You're
Because
amazing.
last night I got help with my homework by somebody and they
Okay.
class, so.
Awesome, but okay. That's really awesome. So that is exactly what we're gonna do.
Wow.
And then many of you might be like, but why? And like, remember I had that practice?
That's magic.
Right here, remember that? This is gonna simplify because you have a plus b, a minus b. That's the reason why this is gonna work. So in the second.
X minus 16 times the bottom.
Alright, so I'll let you guys write down that multiplication and I'm gonna already show you the next step. Remember, the bottom is because of the a plus b times a minus b property that we practiced last class. Now, a raised hand, what does the denominator become? A new raised hand, Nija. X minus 16, Ignacio, I heard you say that. Now, a new raised hand, what cancels? A new raised hand. Ignacio?
Yeah, X minus 16.
X minus 16s will cancel. You're left over with the square root of x minus 4. So basically, this will be helpful for when you're finding limits of expressions that look like that. Because if you want to get rid of the denominator, this is your technique to use. Yeah.
Or would it be the same thing if the bottom thing is on the top?
Great question. So would it be the same thing if the square root is on the top, like in your homework?
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then later today, we have our second set of notes, video notes, such that we do an example that uses the conjugate when the square root is on the top. Yes, so good question. All right, so we do got one more example. One more example just to get you guys fluent into this. Oh, well there it is. So my bad, I didn't. But you guys can see what we started with. Okay, the process is the same. Multiply top and bottom by the conjugate. You get this. Something cancels always. Usually, something cancels and it makes it nice.
If it doesn't cancel, it's a D&E.
If it doesn't cancel, usually it's D and E. But every time I give you the ones with square roots, usually should always cancel. Yes. And if it doesn't, it's going to be an error on my part. So, yeah.
Is the conjugate always going to be our answer? Or is it just the same for this?
Oh, it's a coincidence. It's the conjugate here. Yeah, it's not always going to be that case. Just finish notes. What I want you to do is copy them down, all right? Here we go. That's the first thing I want you to do. All right, I'll give you guys a few seconds to finish that up. I'll stop the video once everyone's done. Let me go ahead and start passing out the task, and then I'll give you guys the directions. It's a very short task, like 10 minutes only. You guys might finish before then. That's not it. All right, stop my video.